When my husband pretended to be seriously ill to force me into a divorce and slowly transferred our assets away, he thought I knew nothing. For 3 years, I didn't cry, didn't make a scene, didn't tear things apart. I quietly took care of his parents, signed documents for him, ran back and forth to hospitals, and handled after-the-fact arrangements on his behalf. Until that early morning when I sent evidence of his affair, his illegitimate child, and his asset transfers all at once to the family group chat, the company group chat, and our lawyer's email. It was only then that he realized the wife he had personally discarded had long since been standing on the other side of the courtroom. At 7 p.m., Ethan texted me, "Working late tonight. Don't wait up." I stared at the screen and didn't reply. He'd worked overtime 3 times last week. This week was only Wednesday, and this was already the second time. Something was off. I cooked a bowl of noodles and sat on the couch scrolling on my phone. As I flipped through posts, a video suddenly popped up. It was posted by Emily Parker, Ethan's junior from college. The title read, "My dream guy wants to ditch his wife and travel abroad. How do you do it?" My fingers froze for a moment before I tapped it. In the video, Emily smiled brightly. Her eyes curved into crescents. Behind her was a high-end restaurant. She said to the camera, "Girls, my dream guy senior has been driven crazy by the woman at home lately. He wants a divorce but is scared of splitting assets. Any good ideas?" The comment section was lively. The top-liked comment said, "Easy. Pretend you have terminal cancer. Say you don't want to drag her down. Suggest divorce yourself. Transfer the assets in advance. By the time she realizes it, there'll be nothing left." Below it were tons of LOL and "learn something new." Emily replied to that comment, "Wow, that's genius." The video was posted 10 minutes ago. I closed my phone and finished my noodles. My heart was sinking, but my face stayed blank. At 3 a.m., the key turned in the lock. Ethan came in. He didn't smell like overtime, only a faint scent of perfume. Not the one I use. Seeing me still sitting on the couch, he froze for a second. "You're still up?" he asked, his voice a little unsteady. "Waiting for you," I said. He took off his coat, deliberately slow, then sat across from me and rubbed his face. "Claire," he began, his voice suddenly choking, "there's something I need to tell you." I looked at him. He raised his head. His eyes were red. The acting was impressive. I have liver cancer. Late stage." The air went quiet for 3 seconds. I stared at his face. His eyes. He was watching my reaction closely. I thought of that comment, "Pretend you have terminal cancer." Every word lined up perfectly. "The doctor says, at most 6 months. Ethan continued. Tears actually fell. "I don't want to drag you down, Claire. We should get divorced." His shoulders shook as he cried. If this had been yesterday, I might have rushed forward, hugged him, and said, "Don't say things like that." But now, it just felt absurd. Seeing no reaction from me, he cried harder. "I know you're hurting, I'm hurting too, but I don't want you watching me die. Please, think about it for me. Just once, okay?" He was forcing me to be understanding. I slowly stood and walked over to him. He looked up at me, eyes red, like an innocent child. I opened my arms and hugged him. "No," I said calmly. "We're not divorcing, Ethan. No matter what happens, I'll stay with you." His body stiffened. Then he hugged me tightly and sobbed out loud. "Claire, you're too good to me." I rested my chin on his shoulder, staring into the darkness outside the window. The sense of absurdity kept growing. This wasn't improvised. He had rehearsed every line. The next day, Ethan didn't go to work. He sat on the couch holding my hand, apologizing over and over. "I don't want to leave you, but I don't want to become your burden," he said, tears always ready. "Claire, promise me, let's divorce. That way, when I'm gone, you can find someone else and live well." I watched him perform. "What about you?" I asked. I want to try new treatments abroad," he said smoothly. "I heard there are experimental therapies in the US. Maybe there's hope." "I'll go with you," I said. He shook his head immediately. "No, treatment is expensive. If we both go, the money won't be enough. And you don't speak the language. You'd just worry there." "Money isn't a problem," I said. "We can use the money in our joint account. That was our shared savings." 1. 2 million. His eyes lit up for a split second, then dimmed. That's your safety net, Claire. I can't use your way out. Aren't we married? I looked at him. He choked. After a few seconds of silence, he said, there's one more thing. I don't want my parents to know. They're old. They couldn't take it. When I'm gone, just say I went abroad on business and died in an accident. He had thought of everything. Cremate me, he continued calmly, frighteningly calm. Scatter the ashes at sea. That way they won't have to visit a grave every year and feel sad. I nodded. Okay. He sighed in relief and squeezed my hand. Claire, this is just a fake divorce. When I'm cured, we'll remarry immediately. And there's a policy now, if you remarry within 6 months, the property division can be treated as a special case. It saves a lot of money. He sounded very convincing. I checked. It's real, he added, afraid I wouldn't believe him. I looked at him and slowly nodded. I'll listen to you. Ethan smiled, a smile of complete relief. He hugged me. I knew it. You're always so understanding. Understanding. I'd heard that word for 7 years. Leaning into his arms, I smiled too. Fine. If you want to act, I'll act with you until the end. The divorce went shockingly fast. Ethan used his connections, and we got a fast-track divorce at a U.S. court. He said it wouldn't affect his future treatment. The entire time, he held my hand tightly, eyes red. When the judge stamped the papers, he hugged me and whispered in my ear, "Wait for me." I nodded. After leaving the courthouse, he glanced at his phone and his expression changed. Claire, I have an appointment with a doctor. I need to go first, he said, avoiding my eyes. Can you go back to the hotel alone? Okay, I said. He kissed my forehead and turned away. His steps were hurried. I stood there for 5 minutes, then opened my phone. Emily Parker's account had updated. A new video, posted 30 minutes ago. The title read, "Successfully ditched the wife, time to celebrate." In the video, Emily flashed a peace sign at the camera. The background was an airport waiting lounge. Girls, the plan worked. Dream guy is free. First stop, Hawaii. The camera shifted to a man's hand holding hers. On his wrist was a watch, the limited edition one I'd given Ethan for his birthday last year. At the end of the video, Emily blew a kiss at the camera. Hope we have tons of fun. And wishing that wife, good luck finding her next guy. I closed the video, opened my banking app. Joint account. Balance, $0. The entire one. 2 million, gone. Transfer time, this morning. Before we walked into the courthouse, I stood there as people passed by. I didn't cry, didn't shake. I opened my phone and started taking screenshots. The video, the comments, the transfer records, photos of the divorce documents. I saved everything, uploaded it to the cloud, backed it up in 3 different places. Then I deleted every way to contact Ethan. The phone screen went dark, reflecting my face. Very calm. So this is what it feels like when your heart goes completely cold. After I returned home, I didn't tell anyone about the divorce. Ethan's parents called, asking why their son hadn't been answering his phone lately. I said, he's on a business trip abroad. The signal isn't great. They believed me. I started following Emily Parker's account. She updated almost every day. In the videos, she and Ethan sunbathed on the beaches of Hawaii, ate at high-end restaurants, and shopped for luxury bags. The comments were full of congratulations. Perfect couple. Congrats, sis. On being single again. Someone asked, wasn't the guy married? Emily replied, don't even mention it. That old hag should have stepped aside ages ago. Old, ugly, and clinging to my dream guy, disgusting. A wave of people echoed her. The wife must be fat and ugly. Women like that just drag men down. Well done, sis. I created a burner account and commented, did the wife agree to the divorce? Emily replied quickly, of course she did. Gave her a bit of money and she was sent packing. Plus, she'd been pregnant before and lost it herself. No luck. Really? I stared at the screen. My hands felt cold. The child I lost was 5 years ago. I slipped in the bathroom. Ethan was on a business trip at the time. I called him, and he said, I'm busy. Go to the hospital yourself. The baby didn't make it. When he finally rushed back and saw me in the hospital bed, he held me and cried. apologizing. Now Emily was saying it was my own carelessness. No, it wasn't carelessness. That bathroom floor had been unusually slippery. After I was discharged, I replaced the mat with a non-slip one, but that day, I remembered there had been a thin layer of oil on the floor. I thought I'd just been careless while cleaning, but now that I think about it, that morning, before leaving the house, Ethan stayed in the bathroom for a long time. He said he was shaving. I turned off my phone. There was a hollow space where my heart should have been, but I didn't cry. I'd cried enough already. Now, all that was left was settling accounts. 1 month after the divorce, Ethan's parents called again. Claire, where exactly did Ethan go? We can't reach him at all. My mother-in-law said anxiously. Mom, he's working on a closed project overseas. He really can't be contacted. When it's over, I'll have him call you immediately. She sighed. That boy, then when is he coming back? About half a year, I said. Half a year, that was the death date Ethan had given himself. After hanging up, I sat alone in the dark. A week later, at 2 a.m., my phone rang. It was the hospital. Are you Ethan's family member? His parents were in a car accident. The mother died at the scene. The father is critically injured. Please come immediately. When I arrived, my mother-in-law had already been covered with a white sheet. My father-in-law was full of tubes, lying in the ICU. The doctor said it was a truck driver who fell asleep at the wheel, full liability. I signed every document and paid every bill, handled my mother-in-law's funeral arrangements, arranged my father-in-law's treatment, contacted lawyers to pursue responsibility. I didn't sleep for 3 days. On the 4th day, my father-in-law woke up. His first words were, "Where's Ethan?" I held his hand. "Dad, he's abroad. He can't come back." Tears streamed down the old man's face. His mother is gone, and he won't even come back to see her one last time? I called Ethan. It connected. In the background, I could hear waves and seagulls. "Hello?" His voice was impatient. "Mom passed away," I said. Silence. Then he said, "I'm in treatment. I can't come back. Handle it yourself. Dad is critically injured. He's in the ICU. Claire." He interrupted. "I can barely take care of myself right now. Stop bothering me, okay?" The call ended. I stood in the hospital hallway, listening to the dead tone. Then I opened the app and sent Ethan a message. "Dad passed away too." He replied instantly, "Got it. Then just tell people what I said before, that I died in an accident. Saves them from trying to find me all the time." I stared at that message for a long time. Then I replied with one word, "Okay." That was when Ethan officially died. My father-in-law stayed in the hospital for 2 months. I went every day, feeding him, cleaning him, reading the newspaper to him. He slowly recovered physically, but his spirit collapsed. His wife was gone. His son never showed up. Double devastation. One afternoon, he held my hand, tears streaming down his face. "Claire, I only have you now," I said softly. "Dad, I'm here." He reached under his pillow and pressed a key into my hand. "This is the key to a bank safety deposit box," he said. "Inside is everything our family owns." I froze. These were originally meant for Ethan. He closed his eyes. "But he doesn't deserve them. Claire, you are our child." The next day, I went to the bank. Inside the safety deposit box was a thick stack of documents. Property deeds to 2 office buildings in the city center, equity certificates for several companies, trust fund documents, and a letter, in my mother-in-law's handwriting. "Claire, if one day we're no longer here, these are yours. You are more our child than our son ever was." I sat in the bank's private lounge, reading through everything. The total valuation exceeded $1 billion. My hands trembled, not from excitement, from absurdity. Ethan had staged such an elaborate performance for $1.2 million, and what his parents had left him was hundreds of times that amount. He didn't know. He thought his parents were just ordinary middle class. He'd never had the patience to listen to them. Now, all of it was mine. I put the documents away and returned them to the safety deposit box. Back at the hospital, my father-in-law asked, "You saw it?" I nodded. "Keep it," he said. "Manage it for me. When I'm gone, you'll live to 100. I cut him off. "I'll take care of you." He looked at me and smiled, smiling through tears. From that day on, I was no longer the victim. I was the one in control. 3 years. Time passed quickly. Using money from the trust fund, I bought a beachfront villa and moved my father-in-law there. I hired the best private medical team, round-the-clock care. His health slowly improved, and his spirits lifted. He stopped mentioning Ethan. As for Ethan, over those 3 years, he completely vanished. No, not vanished. He was very much alive, in Emily Parker's videos. They moved from Hawaii to Los Angeles, then to New York. Emily's account gained more and more followers. She became an influencer, selling clothes, taking brand deals. In her videos, Ethan was always by her side, carrying her bags, taking her photos. He wore designer clothes, drove sports cars, smiling like a carefree boy. Emily often casually showed off their relationship. My dream guy says I look best in this one. He insisted on buying me this bag, said it suits me. He said his old life was suffocating. This is real living. The comments always asked, what about his ex-wife? Emily either ignored them or replied, forgotten long ago. I saved every single video, screenshots, screen recordings, organized timelines. I hired lawyers and consulted on every possible legal angle. Asset division, fraudulent divorce, abandonment of parents, emotional damages. The lawyer told me, the evidence chain is airtight. You can sue. But I didn't move. I was waiting, not waiting for karma, waiting for the perfect moment, one strike. Fatal. One day my father-in-law asked me, Claire, do you hate Ethan? I thought for a moment, then shook my head. I don't anymore. Hate takes too much effort. Now, I only want to settle accounts. 3 years and 4 months later, an unfamiliar number called. I answered. Claire? It was Ethan's voice. I stayed silent. It's me, Ethan, he said, laughing. I'm cured. Late-stage cancer, and I survived. The doctors say it's a miracle. I said nothing. I'm coming back tomorrow, he continued, completely matter-of-fact. Come pick me up at the airport. Oh, and I want your braised pork ribs. Haven't had them in 3 years. I've missed them like crazy. I listened, tapping my fingers lightly on the table. Sure, I said. What time do you land? He gave me the flight number and time. Our home address hasn't changed, right? He asked. It has. I said. I moved. I'll send you the new address. He paused, then quickly replied. That's fine. Just send it. I still have your contact. He hung up. I put my phone down and messaged the driver, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Go to the airport and pick this man up. Then I sent Ethan the address of the beachfront villa. The next day, the driver brought Ethan there. I watched him through the security cameras. He got out of the car and stood in front of the 3-story oceanfront house, staring up at it, eyes wide. Then he smiled, a smug, satisfied smile. He thought this was our new home. He thought his miraculous recovery meant a wife, a mansion, and a warm welcome. He didn't know this was a courtroom, and the judge was already seated. When Ethan walked in, his face was full of smiles. Claire! He opened his arms to hug me. I stepped aside and pointed to the couch. Sit. He looked awkward for a moment, then smiled again, glancing around the living room. Nice place. You bought it? Or renting? Bought it, I said. His eyes lit up. Not bad, you've done well in 3 years. How much did this cost? Not much, I said. He sat down, crossed his legs, pulled out his phone, and started taking photos. The living room, the ocean view, himself. Then he sent a voice message. Emily, I'm back. This is the house my wife bought. Pretty nice, right? Once things settle, I'll fund your studio. I watched him. 3 years, and he hadn't changed at all. Still entitled. Still selfish. After sending the message, he looked up at me. By the way, where are my parents? Why haven't I seen them? I was about to answer when footsteps sounded on the stairs. My father-in-law came down slowly, leaning on his cane. Ethan shot to his feet, his face changing instantly. Dad? Why are you here? My father-in-law didn't look at him. He walked straight to the sofa across from me and sat down. Dad! Ethan rushed forward, trying to hug him. You're alive? That's great. I thought you. My father-in-law raised a hand and stopped him. Who are you? He asked coldly. Ethan froze. Dad. It's me, Ethan. Your son. My father-in-law looked at him as if at a stranger. I don't have a son. I have only one child. He pointed at me. Ethan stood there, mouth open, unable to speak. Then he turned to me, his eyes filled with accusation. I met his gaze calmly. Dad. Ethan's voice trembled. Don't joke like this. I'm Ethan, your biological son. Where's Mom? Where is she? My father-in-law slowly lifted his head and looked toward the wall. A black and white photograph hung there. His wife's memorial portrait. Ethan followed his gaze. His face went deathly pale. Mom, what happened to Mom? She died, my father-in-law said. 3 years ago. A car accident. You were abroad getting treatment and said you couldn't come back. Ethan's legs gave out. He collapsed to his knees. That's impossible, he muttered. I didn't know. You knew. I said, speaking for the first time. I called you. You said, stop bothering me. Ethan whipped his head toward me, shock turning into rage. You didn't say it was that serious. I told you Mom had passed and Dad was critically injured. I said evenly. You said it'd be better if they stopped looking for you. The room went dead silent. Ethan knelt on the floor, staring at his mother's portrait, tears streaming down his face. But it was too late. 3 years of treatment, and he never made a single call. Now he was crying. For whom? After a long time, Ethan wiped his face and struggled to his feet, turning toward his father. Dad, he said hoarsely. I know I was wrong. I really didn't know about Mom. I'm back now. Let me take care of you. Okay? My father-in-law said nothing. Ethan turned to me again. Claire, let's remarry. I'm healthy now. We can start over. I smiled. Remarry? I asked. Wasn't it a fake divorce? Weren't you supposed to come back once you were cured? He nodded frantically. Yes. Yes. It was fake. Let's remarry right now. But I don't want to. I said. He froze. Ethan. I said slowly. Your parents' assets are now under my name. His eyes widened. What? 2 office buildings. Equity in 5 companies. A trust fund. I said. Word by word. Valued at over 1 billion. It was meant for you, but now, it's mine. Ethan's face shifted from white to red to green. That's impossible, he shouted. That's my parents' money. Why would they give it to you? Because your father handed it to me himself. I said. Because you vanished for 3 years. Because your mother died and you didn't come back. He lunged toward me, reaching out. A bodyguard stepped forward and blocked him. Ethan. My father-in-law finally spoke. His voice was tired but firm. I made my will a long time ago. When I die, everything goes to Claire alone. You won't get a single cent. Ethan stood frozen, as if struck by lightning. Dad. I'm your biological son. His voice trembled. I don't have a son. My father-in-law repeated. From the moment you faked cancer to trick Claire into a divorce. From the moment you transferred all the money and ran off overseas with that woman. From the moment your mother died and you didn't even come back once, you stopped being my son. Ethan dropped to his knees. He really knelt down. Dad, I was wrong. I really was wrong. Claire, I was wrong. Please forgive me. Let's start over. Okay? He crawled toward me, trying to grab my leg. I stepped back. Ethan, I said calmly, the game is over. He looked up at me, his face soaked with tears. Like a child. But I knew, inside that child lived a demon. Now, I said, let's settle accounts. Ethan stayed in the guest room of the villa for 3 days. In those 3 days, he tried everything. Begging, crying, kneeling, swearing oaths. I had bodyguards watch him and kept him away from both me and my father-in-law. On the 4th day, he snapped. He secretly recorded a video. In it, he cried hysterically, accusing me of tricking his elderly father out of family assets and imprisoning him, refusing to let him see anyone. He sent the video to me. Claire, if you don't give me what I deserve, I'll post this online. I'll ruin you. I watched the video and laughed. Then I called the police. When the police arrived, Ethan was still in his room sending me threatening messages. What are you doing? He shouted as they took him away. I'm the son of this family. She's my wife. You've got the wrong person. The police showed him the paperwork. Mr. Ethan Lynn, you are suspected of abandonment, fraud, and criminal threats. Please cooperate with the investigation. He was taken away. I called my lawyer. We can file now. The next day, Ethan was released on bail. He immediately filed a lawsuit against me, accusing me of defrauding an elderly person of property and illegal occupation. The court accepted the case. At the same time, I countersued him for fraudulent divorce, transfer of marital assets, and abandonment of parents. The media swarmed in. I began warming things up on social media. I didn't expose anything directly, just vague posts. 3 years of waiting. Justice finally arrives. Some people spend their whole lives acting. It's time for the curtain to fall. The comment sections exploded with speculation. Emily Parker's account suddenly went silent. She deleted all videos involving Ethan, but the internet never forgets. Everything I had saved was intact. The day before the trial, Emily contacted me. Claire. She cried over the phone. I was deceived by Ethan. He said he was divorced. I didn't know it was fake. I can testify in court. I listened without speaking. It's true, she said urgently. I have evidence. I know so much about what he's done. Okay, I said. See you in court tomorrow. After hanging up, I looked out at the ocean. A storm was coming, and this time, I was on the ship. He was in the water. Courtroom. Ethan wore a suit, looking respectable. His lawyer spoke first, describing how I had schemed to gain the elderly man's trust and seize family assets. I listened quietly. When it was our turn, my lawyer submitted the first piece of evidence. Videos of Ethan and Emily in Hawaii. Ethan's face changed instantly. These videos prove nothing, he shouted. That was after the divorce. 3 days after, the lawyer corrected. And according to bank records, all funds from the joint account were transferred on the morning of the divorce. Second piece of evidence, bank transfer records. Ethan began to sweat. Third piece of evidence, messages showing Ethan refusing to return after his parents' car accident. I'm in treatment. I can't come back. Stop bothering me. Then just tell people what I said before, that I died in an accident. Each line was icy and merciless. Gasps came from the gallery. Ethan's father, sitting in a wheelchair, closed his eyes. The final piece of evidence was Emily Parker's testimony. She stood at the witness stand, not daring to look at Ethan. Ethan and I got together 3 years ago, she said quietly. He said his wife didn't understand him, that the marriage was painful, and he wanted a divorce. Did he ever tell you he had cancer? The lawyer asked. Emily shook her head. No, he said, that was just an excuse to trick his wife into divorcing him. The courtroom erupted. Ethan stood up to curse, but the bailiff forced him back down. Where did the money for your Hawaii trips come from? The lawyer asked. From the joint account he shared with his ex-wife, Emily said. He said since they were divorcing anyway, he might as well take it. In the 3 years you were together, did he ever mention his parents? No, Emily said. He said his parents had long since stopped caring about him. In the gallery, my father-in-law clenched the armrests of his wheelchair. Finally, the lawyer asked, Ms. Parker, how many abortions did you have for him? The question hit like a bomb. Emily froze. Ethan snapped his head up, eyes murderous. Emily's lips trembled. Please answer, the lawyer said. 6. She finally whispered. He always said it wasn't the right time. Every time he promised he'd marry me. But, she broke down crying. The courtroom fell into dead silence. 6 times. And the one time I was pregnant, he told me to go to the hospital yourself. I sat at the plaintiff's table, expressionless. The lawyer turned to the judge. Your Honor, the plaintiff rests. Ethan collapsed in the defendant's seat like a pile of rags. He knew, it was over. The verdict, fraud established, abandonment established. Ethan was ordered to return the $1.2 million he had transferred during the divorce and pay emotional damages. And I was legally recognized as the sole owner of all assets transferred by my father-in-law. Ethan appealed. The second trial upheld the original ruling. The day we left the courthouse, Ethan stopped me at the entrance. He knelt. In front of all the media, he knelt. Claire, he sobbed. Snot and tears everywhere. I was wrong. I really was wrong. Please forgive me. Let's remarry, okay? I don't care about the money anymore. I just want to be with you. Cameras clicked furiously. I looked at him. After 3 years, he looked older, worn down. but that look in his eyes was exactly the same as before. Calculating, selfish, entitled. Ethan, I said, you don't care about money? Then what have you been doing for the past 3 years? He choked. Hawaii, Los Angeles, New York, spending our money, playing house with your junior. I said slowly, word by word, your mother died, you didn't come back. Your father was critically injured, you didn't come back. Now the money's gone, and suddenly you're back. He grabbed the leg of my pants. She seduced me. It's all Emily's fault. She said she loved me, said she could help me. Help you cheat me? I laughed softly. Ethan, you're an adult. You made the choices. You walked the road. Emily Parker was standing nearby. When she heard that, she let out a cold laugh. She walked over and looked at me. Claire, can I say something to you? I nodded. She leaned in and lowered her voice. I don't want the money anymore. I've given you all the evidence. But could you give him the final blow? I looked at her. This was the woman who had once called me a washed-up old wife on video. Now her eyes were filled with hatred. Hatred for Ethan. He promised to marry me for 6 years. She said. Made me have 6 abortions. In the end, he said I couldn't have children anymore, that I was useless. I was silent for a few seconds. Then I took a check out of my bag and handed it to her. 100,000. I said, enough for you to start over. Go. Don't look back. Emily took the check, glanced at Ethan as if he were trash, then turned and walked away. Without looking back even once, Ethan was still kneeling. He looked at me. His expression shifted from pleading to despair, from despair to hatred. Claire, he rasped, you'll get what's coming to you. I bent down and looked him in the eye. Karma? I said softly. Your mother is dead. Your father disowned you. Your money is gone. Your woman left you. Ethan, tell me, which one of us looks like karma hit? His eyes widened. He couldn't say a word. I straightened and said to the bodyguards, take him away. He's not allowed to come near me or my father ever again. They dragged Ethan away. He screamed. He cursed. He cried. I didn't turn back. Some people aren't worth a backward glance. Ethan tried to find me several more times after that, blocking me at the villa gate, waiting downstairs at my office. Every time, security escorted him away. He tried posting online, accusing me of being a vicious woman who stole the family fortune. This time, public opinion didn't side with him. I released selected evidence, chats where he faked terminal cancer, messages where he refused to return for his mother's funeral, edited clips of Emily's courtroom testimony. The internet exploded. Is this even human? Cheated his wife into divorce. Didn't come back when his parents died. And still wants money? Support her. He deserves nothing. Ethan deleted the post and disappeared. Some said he went to a small southern town. Some said he left the country. I didn't care. My father-in-law's health kept improving. He could walk on his own now, even stroll through the garden. He handed full control of the company to me. I hired a professional team. The business grew stronger every year. Media outlets wanted interviews. I declined. No need to explain. Those who understand, understand. Those who don't, no explanation is ever enough. 3 years later, I met someone. His name was Daniel Wright. He worked in tech, calm, gentle, unhurried. On our first date, he said, I've heard about your past. You're remarkable. I asked, don't you think I'm ruthless? He shook his head. Being kind to evil people is cruelty to good ones. We dated for a year. Then he proposed. I said yes. The wedding was simple, only close friends and family. My father-in-law sat at the main table, smiling from ear to ear. No one mentioned the past, but I knew it hadn't disappeared. It had become the road beneath my feet, the sword in my hand, the light in my eyes, helping me walk steadier, hold firmer, see clearer. In the 2nd year of marriage, I gave birth to a daughter. My father-in-law held his granddaughter, tears streaming down his face. Our Lynn family finally has a successor. I corrected him gently. Dad, it's the Wright family. He froze, then burst out laughing. Right, the Wright family, our little princess. On my daughter's 1-month celebration, I received a message from an unfamiliar number. Claire, congratulations. I got married too. Ordinary job. Ordinary life. I'm sorry for the past. It was Ethan. I didn't reply. I deleted the message. A year later, I heard he'd divorced again, lost his job. Life wasn't going well. A friend asked me, "Don't you feel satisfied?" I thought about it, then shook my head. Satisfied? I didn't need that anymore. When you're standing on the mountain peak, you don't care what people at the foot of the mountain say. When you're truly happy, you stop caring whether those who hurt you are suffering. Revenge isn't victory. Forgetting is. I don't forgive him, but I don't hate him either. Hate is a prison, and the one it locks up is yourself. I deleted him from my heart, cleanly, like deleting an irrelevant photo from a phone. No trace. No memory space wasted. Now, I have a husband who loves me, a healthy father, a beautiful daughter, a career, friends, a future. The pain I once endured didn't make me bitter or cold. It made me cherish warmth even more. Because I know, it wasn't easy to get here. Because I know, I deserve all of it. The sunlight outside the window is perfect. My daughter sleeps peacefully in her crib. Daniel walks over and wraps an arm around my shoulders. "What are you looking at?" he asks softly. "The sunlight," I say. He smiles and kisses my forehead. I smile too. Life is still long, and the best revenge of all is living more beautifully than anyone else ever imagined.